going on, fishy friends? It is a wonderful Wednesday night, as usual here right on the Chesapeake Bay. We have the pleasure of having Kaz Kenny do the Eastern Shore Fishing Report for our regional fishing report segment tonight. Before we get to that, Heroes on the Water is a wonderful organization that the Fishing Channel really gets behind and supports. They are doing an event this Saturday at Fort Smallwood State Park for helping get wounded veterans and their families back on the water in kayaks, and having a really wonderful experience. So they're always looking for volunteers, for people who can come out. You don't need to bring anything. They've got all the kayaks, they've got all the gear, they even serve food. So if you have a little bit of time before, on Saturday, what was the time of that event?
Oh, jeez, I'm sorry.
It's usually in the morning to early afternoon. Check it out on Facebook. It's Heroes on the Water of Maryland, and it's at Fort Smallwood. So it'd be really awesome if you could come out and join. Let's bring in my man, Kaz. Kaz, how are you, sir? You're not struck by lightning?
Oh, man, I'm finer than frog hair, man. It's been nothing but disaster after disaster up here in Harford County the last 3 days, so I'm just happy to be alive, and I can still go fishing. I'm grateful. How are you guys?
Man, we're great, and grateful to have you with us, brother. Man, I saw some of that stuff on Facebook, and I was sitting at home, and I'm watching you. You had you were safe. You had the phone up on the dash. You were hands-free driving, and I'm like, man, those windshield.
It was crazy. It was crazy. So I'm looking down 152, and we'll get into fishing in a minute. But this is a crazy story. It's never happened like this to me before. I'm looking up 152 as I'm heading to crab stand yesterday, and I just see the black sky ahead of me, and I don't know how to explain it, but I could see the difference just in the color of the area ahead of me, like how dark it was, but how bright it was back here, right? So I'm like, I'm going to turn this camera on because they were saying on the radio these bad storms were coming. Be ready, be careful. It was crazy. So I'm driving, and all of a sudden this black cloud that I see goes to just normal driving, a little bit of windy, out of nowhere, man. The truck's just rocking side to side as I'm driving. I'm literally watching trees 4 feet around bend over the top of 152 as I'm driving. I'm like, oh my God. If you slow that video down, look, you can see them trees, how big they were, just bending like this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm driving, it starts. I'm like, wow, man, wow. And I'm just driving out nowhere, and bam, this bolt of lightning literally hits. I swear, I was blinded, man. I don't know how to explain it to you, but I mean, it hit. I don't know if it hit the telephone pole next to me or what it was, but something exploded next to me, this big bright light. Something went across the road in front of me, and I can't explain it. I just pulled the wheel to the left, so I didn't know what was happening, and I felt the buzz in the truck. I can't explain. Like, I could feel it in my hair, man. It was crazy, right? So we got through that. So then come in last night, I found out we've got some problems here where my mom's at. And for those that know me, my mom's been struggling with some stuff here the last couple of weeks. I haven't been down the shore for about 3 weeks now, not even seen Eddie or Gary. I miss everybody so bad. It's crazy. But, I came home, and I'm like, Mom, there's no power. She's like, yeah, no power. I don't know what happened. So I go downstairs trying to get lanterns and lights, and I see fire trucks out front. So I go out front, talk to the neighbor. Well, lo and behold, the dang power, the tree fell over, burnt the shed up, burnt the trampoline up, caught the whole woods on fire, and my mother never even saw it. It happened while I was gone. I'm like, you never even heard the fires? There's like 12 fire engines here, Yeah. It was crazy. And all night, every hour, I don't know why BG didn't shut the power off. I mean, you could hear the humming on and off, through the darkness. I mean, it's pitch black all night long. And it kept catching fire like every other hour. And, I said to the firefighters, why don't you guys just leave somebody here? He's like, Kaz, you don't even understand. It's crazy right now here. We're going to try to get this done, go take care of something, then we'll come back if we need to. And that's what happened. They couldn't get the power off. So every time it would go out, they'd get it out. With another hour, it would just heat back up and come back to life. But the craziest thing is this. I've had this fox with these little kits and all this stuff, around for a little while and been watching them. Well, we found the fox underneath the power lines next to the tree that got hit by lightning. And I'm pretty sure that the fox got incinerated when the lightning hit the tree. She was just laying there. I was so sad. I was like, man, unreal. It's just crazy last couple of days, brother.
Yeah. I mean, I saw that video of you driving down the road. And when that lightning hit the transformer, it was like it was like Star Wars. It was like Darth Vader blew up a ship right next to you.
It was, man. And I didn't mean to cuss, man, but I was just like, I was like, holy, because I didn't know what to do. You know, I didn't know what was happening. When I figured it out, I was like, oh, that was just lightning, man. I'm all right. I just kept on getting it. But the craziest thing was it took me literally 2 hours to get from Fallston to Maryland Line, which is only about maybe 15 miles, I'd say, because there were so many big giant trees across the road. Like I would say, all right, I know another way. I start to go, and then I'd see the traffic ahead. I'd see another big tree. Like, dang it. Turn around, come back. It was like switching gears left and right for about 45 minutes trying to figure out how to get to the crab stand. It was that bad. I didn't realize how bad it was, you know. And today, looking at all the news and everything and just driving around the neighborhood and helping other people out, it's crazy. It's a lot of seniors where we're at. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of young guys like me. It's all mostly old people. So if anybody's in the Edgewood Meadows area and wants to help out some old people, drive around, you'll see some people there can use a hand.
That's good stuff. Well, you know, Kaz said he's been, you know, busy with his mom and doing other things, but you guys can best believe that he's in the ear of everyone that's fishing over there. So he knows exactly what's going on over there on the Eastern Shore. You brought up the crab stand, and you know what?
So
I'm just going to change the name of this particular report to the Eastern Shore Fishing and Crabbing Report, because I think people want to know just as much about crabbing as they do fishing.
Well, yeah, I had Ben. He was going to get with you guys. I guess he never got with you guys, but I can handle that. That's no problem at all. The fishing is just, it's everything everywhere, man. Like, it doesn't matter where you go. You're going to find something to catch, you know, and that's the good thing about this time of the year, you know, early morning, late in the day, and you can fish at night. You know what I mean? I love night fishing when it gets hot like this, you know, and those guys that take advantage of that really score some quality fish at night when nobody else around. There's no crowd around. Lots of mosquitoes, so make sure you got your thermocells and lots of bug spray. You'll be donating blood to the blood bank up in Dorchester. You'll be getting the transfusion by the end of the night. But yeah, so, I mean, the Pocomoke River right now, I mean, from the top to the bottom, I mean, there's fish everywhere. You know, you start up at the top, you got your freshwater stuff. You got bass, you got yellow perch, you got crappie. The crappie fishing in the Pocomoke is phenomenal. For those guys that have experienced it, they know about the cypress trees. They know the access. They know how to get them fish, you know. Snakeheads are showing up there. They've been up there for a couple of years, so you'll find some of them mixed in while you're up there fishing too. You know, that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. Barron Creek, I'm just going to talk about a couple different places. Barron Creek, you know, in Wycomico County right now, it's hot, man. Snakeheads are massive in there. They're big. They're 10 pounds plus, and there's lots of numbers. Good bluegill fishing throughout the Barron Creek right now. If you can find the pockets where bluegills have been spawned up and bedded and stuff like that.
All of them? The snakehead.
What's that?
The snakehead haven't.
They've worked them over. You know, there's still a few around. I mean, there's a few yellow perch I've seen down there in the nets here in the last couple of weeks. I just don't see that quality, you know, that I mean, I used to go there and catch them giant 8-inch bluegills, 9-inch bluegills left and right, you know. You're going to catch somebody. You're going to fill a 5-gallon bucket or half a bucket now. You're not going to do that. Yeah. But I mean, there's lots of fun fishing there. The bass are big in Barron Creek, things like that. Athol Road has a spillway on it down there by the pond, you know, big lake right there. Mm-hmm.
There's somebody who doesn't know where that is. Could you give us a little bit more in terms of?
It's in Wycomico County. It's called Athol Road. It's Athol Road Spillway is what it's called. It's a great place to go at night and shoot gar. I mean, some of the biggest gar you've ever seen in your life come in there when they're spawning, when they're moving through. It's really good, clear water. So it's good for the daytime angler and the nighttime angler. He can sit there with a little light and he can shoot if he wants to, or he can fish if he wants to. There's lots of different species there. Chain pickerel, crappie, yellow perch, bluegill. That's in the spillway area. You know, you come over into the pond, you got crappie, you got a few bass, you got lots of snakeheads now. Few bluegill, but it's mostly crappie in that pond. A lot of pad fish and things like that. You know, if you come up Barron Creek to like the 50 area, you know, from 50 down to about the Mardella Springs boat launch, I would say right now it's just a really hot area. It's great for kayaking. It's great for, you can drop a bass boat in there on a low tide and get under that bridge. The advantage to that spot is a lot of bass boats can't get under that bridge. So that big pocket of water is wide open and kayakers can access it. Guys that can't fish a lot of places, it's a really nice little niche to go to. You know, Galestown Pond, you know, over there, you know, nice crappie, nice pickerel, bass in there, bluegill, big yellow perch. I mean, some of the biggest landlocked yellow perch I've ever seen in that place. They've also got landlocked white perch. And the reason being is they have a ladder on that lake. And when those fish migrate, they can get up in the lake. So over the years, just like Higgins Mill and all those other places, you've got an established population of yellow perch and white perch that are reproducing in that pond, plus what migrates up there and spawns each year. It's just a great, phenomenal place. And I'm not going to divulge a lot of the other spots above and below Galestown, but if you use your Google Maps and you look around, you'll see what I call mill ponds, sediment control ponds, drainage ponds, things like that. Okay, and they're all connected to this whole river system that goes up there. Okay, so use your brain. If you're driving around, it's in somebody's yard, don't go in there. But if you're somewhere driving and you can pull off the side of the road and it's a bridge and there's a white line that says you can park there and you're not going to cause any problems, check it out. Take 5 minutes, make 5 casts, check it out. You might just be blown away. In Dorchester, I mean, Blackwater's on fire. You know that. Lots of snakeheads being caught, fry balls everywhere. I know Gary got out last week. He got some massive fish when he was back. Then he caught numbers, So we're seeing the numbers back. We're seeing the numbers back again this year. So that's good, It seemed last year that some of the numbers dropped off. And we kind of think what may have happened there is we had that cold winter, the year before. So we know a lot of places got iced in. But we also noticed that other tributaries seemed to pick up fish that were in the areas where they were before. You know what I mean? So it seemed like they left areas and went to areas where there's more bait prevalent. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah.
So, so they move over there and they eat. So I think that's kind of what's been going on there the last couple of years. Now, the tagging program that Maryland DNR is doing right now, I want to talk about that real quick before I forget about that. Everybody's riding this horse. Why let them go if they're so invasive? Look, we're letting them go and we're tagging them because what we saw in Blackwater with fish moving from one tributary to the other to find food, we're trying to find out if they're doing the same thing up the bay in other areas, the gunpowder place like that. There's niche pockets in there where guys are saying they don't see the fish. Now, they were there last year, and there were numbers of them last year, but there's also numbers of bait there last year. It's not there this year. So this tagging program isn't just us saying, oh, hey, we're going to let them go. We're doing the right thing. That's what we're doing, okay? And we're making it interesting for people that want to try to get in the snakehead game, by giving away money. That gets you to go out and fish for them. That gets you to catch that tagged fish that we released in the gunpowder and you found in the Susquehanna. We want to know how far they're moving. What are they doing with the salt now? We know things have changed as time goes on. It's not the same fish that was here in 2009. This is not a fish that's hibernating in the winter anymore. This is a fish now that tolerates salt, is swimming with cow nose rays right now in the Bush River where they're shooting cow nose rays and snakeheads underneath. We think that the snakeheads are moving with the cow nose rays because they're stirring up the bottom in these coves and it's giving them food. So that's why we're doing a lot of this tagging program. We're going to find out what's up with this whole stingray thing that's going on. We're seeing them at the Bay Bridge in crab pots. We're seeing them all over the place. So we're really just trying to unravel the whole mystery. Everybody thinks they got it figured out. I don't think anybody does. I think everybody's just trying to gather data. And time takes time, just like anything else. It's going to take time to really pinpoint and figure this thing out,
Yeah, I want to come back to snakeheads in just a second, but we do have a question from Patrick Glenn, who's been hanging on patiently with us. And
hey, Pat, what's up, buddy?
Can you click that question?
I can't because when you touched it, it disappeared.
That's weird. Yeah. There it goes. Okay. Nope, that's the wrong one.
There you go.
All right. He says, I am from Solomon's Island, Maryland. Would I have better luck for drum and mackerel if I went across the bay or head south towards Point Lookout?
Yeah.
So he's asking which direction should he go? Across the bay or?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you right now, I mean, there's a lot of drum over on our side right now. Okay. So there's a lot of drum and guys don't get mad at me. Okay. I'm just going to tell some people some stuff. So they're catching some drum at the mouth of a little chop tank. They're catching some drum in some of the coves there. You come down to Punch Island, just off Punch Island, they're catching some drum there too. As far as mackerel, I haven't heard much of the mackerel, I haven't heard much on that yet. Trout, there's still some big trout being caught over here, Hooper's Island Straits, Fishing Creek Bridge. I mean, a lot of these places right now, you get there and you catch the right tide and you know what you're looking for. What feeding drum look like I know what they look like. It's not the same as rockfish, okay?
Yeah.
So when you're looking at the drum, ease into them. Don't rush in there like a bull in a china shop. Go in there easy on them because once you spook them fish, they're done. They're gone. So ease into them and check them out. But my personal opinion, I mean, mouth of Nanticoke down there, Elliot's Island, south of that, they're getting some there too,
Yeah.
So,
you said if you catch the tide right, for those of our viewers that don't know, in these areas around the Nanticoke, Fishing Creek, Honga River, that kind of thing, what's the right tide?
I like an outgoing tide when it first turns. And then for me, myself, I like a slack tide sometimes, I hate to say it like that. I got a spot down Tedious Creek. That tide's rolling out of Tedious Creek and I'm throwing a barrel swivel and a big egg sinker and just rolling soft crabs across the bottom. Sometimes on that slack tide, you think they're gone, but they're still there, man. They're still there. You're just not seeing them, you know? So I don't know. I mean, if I had to take a pick, I'd come over here on the eastern side. That's what I would do. You know, I mean, there's a lot of fish over here. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, for me, mostly it's probably the change of the high to low, you know, the change of the high, you know, dropping out. And the change of that, I want to say the ebb to the turn of the incoming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right there, I like that. The last of that outgoing tide, sometimes that can be really hot too because it's pulling the last of the bait out. You know what I mean? What's the right answer? That's the question, you know, because I could give an answer, you could give an answer, then some other guy goes there tomorrow and he catches them on shrimp. You know, I mean, it's hard to say. You know, I mean, for me, any tide could be it, but if I had to pick one tide, it would be the falling tide.
I got another question coming in from our man Patrick. He says, "Are the cobia also over there on the eastern shore?"
Yeah, we have cobia over here. Probably not the same amount that you guys see over on the eastern, on the western shore. I mean, but you know, the mouth of the Nanacoke, yeah, they get a few down there. I mean, we had them last year, Little Chop Tank River. So here's a story. So I have a little spot on Route 16, like the fish in Church Creek, and it's a big cove. It comes in off Little Chop Tank River. And last year, Gary was on his way home, and I was standing there, and you know, the fin. You know, I saw the fin. I said, man, I've never seen cobia up in here before, ever. That can't be cobia. Then I'm watching it, you know, I'm thinking maybe it's a sick carp or something. I don't know. As it comes towards the tube's draining out of this ditch behind me. It's pumping bull minnows out, pumping little crabs out. Lo and behold, the water's so clear. I watched it turn in front of me. I thought it was a little shark. I went, oh my God, it's a cobia. I ran back to my truck, grabbed my rod, cast right in front of it with a little swim bait. It hit that thing as fast as it could. I couldn't do nothing. I only had 8-pound line. That's all I had. So, you know, it's the only rod I had in the truck, but I'm like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and try it. I've never seen it before.
Why not, right? Yeah.
I mean, the other thing too, like the drum, like, I mean, they come up in these ditches. People don't even realize that. Like, you get down Hooper's Island, you get down Crapo, you get down Wing It and areas like that. You know, those ditches that are close to the Hunger River and things like that. When the tide comes in, I tell people all the time, I catch flounder in them ditches, man, in August and September, believe it or not. And I catch keeper flounder here and there, not every day. I might catch 1-2 a week, you know, but there's days I go there and I catch 5-10 flounder out of just behind one pipe, you know, just a little tiny 1-inch, 1.5-inch twister tail, just doing this and the current is just flushing out, you know. But yeah, I mean, cobia wise, I mean, we see them in the Honga, we see them at Hooper's Arm, we see them in the Little Chop Tank, we see them in the Big Chop, the Nanacoke, mouth of Pocomoke. I mean, as far down as you want, you know. I mean, they'll be up there too.
Yeah, let's talk about the crab stand. Let's first of all, how does if somebody wants good crabs, how do they contact you?
Well, the crab stand, we're at 21338 York Road. We're in Parkton, Maryland. You can reach us at 443-621-5020, or you can find me on Facebook at honestbushel.com or
say the
big
phone number one more time.
443-621-5020. And then, you know, if you want to find me on the internet, you can find me at honestbushel.com, from the boat to your throat.com, and bigasscrabs.com. Not ASS, because we don't want to be vulgar. AZZ, you know, want to keep it PG for the kids, you know?
AZZ means something totally different. But no, how's the crabbing going? I remember last time we talked, or actually you talked to Lady C last month, but last time we talked, I don't think you were saying it was a down year for crabs. I think you were just sort of saying it was getting slow started. How's that?
So here's here's the deal with the crabs. Okay, it's a tough year. It's a bad year in some places. Let's put it like that. Okay, I mean, what DNR is telling us is not a lie. From what I see, you know. So I don't just look at like what the crabbers are catching, but I try to look at what's in my minnow pots. I try to look at what I see in the ditches. That tells me more than what I see out there. What I see in that ditch, if I see little crabs, little red drum. I mean, last year I had so many baby red drum, it blew my mind. I couldn't believe there's that many there. So that tells me that the drum are using that particular creek every year to spawn, or them little baby drum wouldn't be in there, you know? So I always will look in the creek. That tells me what they need. So early in the year, April 1st, we had lots of crabs right there. The mouth of Chop Tank, mouth of Little Chop, mouth of Hunger River, all them places right there. And I think the reason that we had so many crabs, you got to think about this. The migration started, you know, late this year. You know, they're coming down. We get a cold snap. They say, oh, it's too cold. I'm not going to Virginia. I'm going to dig in right here. So that's what I think happened here with us in the beginning. As we got through the month of April into May, you know, we started to see a shift in crabs. We started to see less crabs. We started to see more smaller crabs and less bigger crabs. We saw huge crabs right off the bat, which usually you don't see that, you know, because usually them big crabs are down in the bay when they bury in. So we saw those crabs, and I just things kind of picked up here in the last, I guess I would say 3 weeks for us. The trot liners are doing decent. I wouldn't say that we're on fire. We had a little bit there before the shed where we were catching a lot of crabs. I mean, a lot of females. I'm not seeing a lot of males right now. You know, that's the thing. So it's a twofold thing. I mean, it could be that these bigger males are holding on to peelers. You know, that's why we're not seeing them, because there's not no numbers of big crabs. This next shed that we get is going to give us a lot of 6 to 6.5 inch crabs. Okay. I don't think you're going to see these real big, you're seeing some jumbos in the upper bay, but those are those crabs that are coming through the C&D canal, you know, out of the Delaware and coming down. Okay. That's not what's coming up. So those upper bay crabs, you know, they're huge right now, some of them. But again, the numbers of those big crabs, they're not seeing those numbers of those big crabs. They're seeing mostly a 5.5 to 6.25 inch crab, where normally they're seeing a 6 to 7.25 inch crab. You know, it's a nice big crab. I was talking to my uncles down in Essex and Middle River, and they're catching a few crabs down there, but they're saying it's nowhere near like it was last year by this time, you know?
Right.
I think this next shed, you're going to see a boom, and then the shed after that is when you're really going to see it hammer for the fall. I think once we get the fall, we're going to be in good shape. Prices are starting to come down. I mean, I'm gonna do some crazy stuff this weekend. The crabs. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, my guys are catching a lot of crabs, so we want to move them, and I'm gonna chop the price so hard this weekend. If you're like, oh, you know, they're gonna be driving from Philadelphia to come get crabs. They'll be driving from Canada to get crabs. No, I'm just kidding.
So
but no, I think.
Secret, but a bushel's not gonna cost you. You know, it might cost you an arm, but not an arm and a leg.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, realistically, I'm thinking number one basket this week. I might be doing them for like $200, $225, which is crazy. Everybody else is $375. You know, here's the thing, man. You know, like I guess my crab situation is a little different than a lot of other people. You know, like it's not so much about the money to me. It's more about me moving the volume of crab. You know, so
sure.
To move the volume of crab means I have to have the price to get the volume of crab moved. You know. A lot of the retail places, they could care less. You know, they're getting $120, $150 a dozen. They don't care if they sell 10 or 20. You know, they're still making their money.
Right.
So, you know, as far as the market goes, crab meat prices have been coming down in the last 2 weeks. You know, they've cut the price last 2 weeks by $1 or $2. The last, you know, $4 in the last 2 weeks, let's say. Soft crab prices, they're holding, man. They're not going nowhere. I mean, they're up there right now. I mean, you want to buy a dozen jumbos from a wholesaler, you're paying $65. I mean, you know, last year we were paying 48. You know, the year before we were paying 30, 36 and 42. Yeah. You know, people want to complain about price. You got to understand this price is really, really good compared to if you look at the overall for what you're getting from us. You know, you look at fuel, you look at everything. You can't drive to me and buy a bushel of crabs and drive back to PA
and still save money.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna cost you still another $125. You know what I mean? Just in your fuel, your tolls, and everything like that. You know, same price. You buy it from me there, you buy it from me here. You know what I mean? So
and you get to
they don't seem to understand.
And you get to hang out with Kaz.
Sometimes I'm like the blue tail fly, man. I don't stay still very long.
we gotta run. We got the North Carolina inshore report here in a minute. But guys, we left the information for Kaz and the crab stand. Quick shout out, Blackwater's Edge is a podcast that he and Eddie and Gary do. Awesome guys, awesome stuff.
And look, we're going to be coming back here in the next week or two. We're starting to get things figured out at home up here. You know, things are starting to straighten out a little bit. Not all the way, but we're having a few more good hours than bad hours a day now. You know,
guys are up to like 110 episodes. You're not going anywhere, brother.
Yeah, it's no. I just mean like with my mom, you know. I mean, I'll be back down there and we're back running full every week. You know, we haven't done the last 2 weeks and we're not going to do this week either. So we're hoping to be back next week and get that done. But before I go, just want to remind everybody, I've got these snakehead blades here, okay? So if anybody wants a snakehead blade, send me a message or shoot me a message on the crab stand. They're $24.99. You get three. I'll give you 3 for $6 or 3 for $60. Yeah, 3 for $59. 3 for $59 or $24.99 a piece. Can't beat that. I mean, they're nice. They're great. They're sharp. If you're a harvester and you want to keep your fish, these things are amazing. The blade is just perfect size. Come in, boom, you're done. So check it out.
Is that a stainless blade?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. I'm in. Let's do it.
I'll send you guys some. Send me a PM with the address. I'll send some down to you guys. You can give away on the show.
That sounds good, brother.
All right, thanks, Grant. Lady C, miss you. Hope everything's good, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Oh,
Look, if you can't be good,
she's doing great, brother.
Look,
We'll see you all
if you guys can't be, if you can't be good at it. Okay.
Amen. That sounds good, brother.
Okay, we'll see you.
Take care.
Thank you.